Hello. Welcome back to the channel, and this is a channel where we give you reviews, playthroughs, unboxings. We generally like to talk a load of bollocks about tabletop gaming in general, and in this video we are going to continue our countdown of our top 100 board games of all time. Today we are going to be looking at numbers 40 down to 31. Don't worry, we're almost there. Isn't going to be that many more of these videos for you to endure. So strap yourself into your armchair, grab a pint of Red Bull, hit the like button, subscribe, and all that YouTube bullshit. We'll see you after this. Bollocks. So number 40 on this list is a game that changed the face of board gaming back in 1995, introduced the concept of Euro games to an otherwise ignorant American audience. It's the Settlers of Catan, now called Catan. In this game, you'll be rolling a couple of dice, you'll be getting resources based on how many settlements and cities you've got on a board, and you'll be trading in these resources to build more settlements, more cities, maybe get a few development cards that will help you get the largest army, maybe you'll build the longest road, and the first person to get to 10 victory points will be the winner. There's no denying that Catan changed the way people thought about games. It's a worldwide phenomenon. There's no getting away from it. And even after all these years of playing Catan, I'm still playing it today. In fact, I only played it a couple of days ago and I got my ass whipped by a 9-year-old. There's loads of expansions for this. There's the Seafarers expansion that lets you travel on the high seas. There's the Cities and Knights expansion, which, truth be told, is a little bit too much complexity. And there's the absolutely fantastic 3D editions of this. You've got a base game 3D version, which is absolutely fantastic. And then there's the Seafarers and the Cities and Knights 3D expansion for this, which is a real sight to behold on the table. Yeah, so Catan, it's absolutely amazing. I'm stunned that I'm still playing this gem today. And you can slag it off if you like. I don't give a fuck. So number 39 is a game called Eldritch Horror. This took the overly bloated whale-like game called Arkham Horror and allegedly shrunk it down into a more manageable bite-sized game. By the end of this game's life, it actually was even more bloated than Arkham Horror itself, but it doesn't really matter because it's still a fantastic game. In Eldritch Horror, you'll be taking on the role of some investigators. You'll be roaming around the globe, trying to close gates that will stop one of the old Cthulhu-esque ancient ones from arriving on Earth and devouring humanity. There were 4 different big box expansions for this and several small box expansions. There's more content for this than I could ever wish to have. You're never ever going to see all of it, which is a bit of a shame because I've probably only got about 30 years of my life left and I've got all these other fucking games to play, and I don't know why I bought them all because I'm never going to play them all. But yeah, Eldritch Horror, a highly thematic Ameritrash game that tells a really nice story as well. So if you haven't got it, and go out and spend 300 quid and get the fucking lot. Number 38 on this list is another dexterity game that is like air hockey but without the air. It's Klask or Klask. This is a wooden table essentially, and you're going to have a paddle with a magnet on it. One part goes under the table, another part goes on it. You'll put a ball in the centre of the table and you'll be whacking the ball trying to get it into your opponent's goal. You've got these little nipple things that might stick to your magnetic pole. And you can get points that way. Klask is an absolute blast. For me, it's more like a sport, yeah? I don't care what anyone says. If snooker's a sport, then Klask is a sport, yeah? And I'm actually quite shit at this game, so I do sort of get the feeling I'm actually progressing the more that I play it, yeah? There should be more games like this out there. There should be more innovative people making board games in their garage like the designer of this one. And you never know, there might just be a game like that on this list later on. Who knows? Number 37 is a game that is based on a film that was meant to rival Star Wars in the 80s, but it didn't. It ended up being complete shit. And it was recently rebooted to a lot of critical acclaim apart from me. It's Juni Imperium. This is a worker placement game, yeah? But it's a worker placement game that mixes elements of deck building. You'll be putting your work around a board and be playing cards. And the thing that I love most about this is that there is a portion on the card that lets you defer what you want to do until a later phase and then blow the floodgates wide open with actions, yeah? I'm a little bit miffed with the people that make this game because they've just released a reimagining of this game that allegedly fixes all the problems. But I'm not paying 50 quid for a game that I've essentially already owned. So is it Dire Wolf Productions? You can shove that fucking game up your fucking ass. I hate cash grabs, and that's why this game isn't as high on the list as it otherwise would be. Juni Imperium is still a fantastic game. Number 36 is a cooperative game that is effectively Left 4 Dead, the board game, yeah? It's Carnival Zombie. In this game, you're going to be taking on the role of one of 6 different survivors. You've got Captain Terror, Pantaleon, Harlequin, and something to do with Columbine or something, which is a little bit controversial, don't you think? Anyway, you'll be manning the barricades, trying to fight off hordes and hordes of zombies. Then you'll be moving through the streets of Venice, trying to get to one of the numerous escape routes, whether it's by airship, crossing a bridge, or rowing a boat across a river. Carnival Zombie has recently been reprinted in a 2nd edition. I'm not too sure what it changes, whether it changes anything, but I think there's a few plastic miniatures instead of cardboard standees. But yeah, I love Carnival Zombie. It's probably the best tower defense game that you can get. And if you like zombies and you like carnivals, then it's a no-brainer, isn't it? Fuck's sake. Number 35 on this list is another game that suffers from the cash grab disease. It is Eclipse, A New Dawn for the Galaxy. We're talking about the 1st edition of this. This was one of them games that was touted as being a way to get the Twilight Imperium experience condensed down into 2 hours. Ended up being another one of them games that ended up being bloated, and you end up spending maybe 4 hours playing this. Yeah, this game is effectively an economic game. You will be placing discs out onto the board, taking actions, and as you do that, your costs will increase, and you'll have to put population cubes out onto the board to keep your costs down. Yeah, you'll be building spaceships, having spaceship battles. You'll be fighting the ancient ones, getting better weaponry, upgrading your tech, and for a Euro economic simulator, it's pretty damn good. Yeah, some fantastic expansions that were released for this that add a mind-boggling amount of stuff, and it's just one of the best 4X space games that you can get still. I haven't played the reboot of this one. I've got no interest in that because we shelled out loads of money for this, so I'm not going to throw that away, am I? But yeah, Eclipse, a classic Euro game that is going to stay in my collection forever. Number 34 on this list is a game that's based on a TV show from around about 10 years ago. It's Sparkus, A Game of Blood and Treachery. Ordinarily, these games that are based on TV shows don't tend to be that good, but Sparkus is an exception to the rule. In this game, you're taking on the role of one of the characters from the TV show. You'll be hiring slaves or gladiators to do your dirty work for you. Then you'll have an intrigue phase where you can stab each other in the back with Jupiter's cock. You'll then go toe-to-toe with each other in a primus where you'll be trying to beat each other's heads in. And this game just feels like it's a punch-up in the pub, you know? You spend all your money at the marketplace, get pissed at your face, and then you have a fucking tear-up at the end of the night, yeah? Sparkus, highly thematic game, fantastic production quality. Even though it uses screen grabs out of TV show, it works really well. And the expansions for this, the Serpent and the Wolf and the other one, turn this into a 6-player spectacle that is unrivaled, yeah? So yeah, they reprinted this in a really cheap version. I think they might have fucking ruined it like they always do. But if you can find the 1st edition of this, it is a super duper thematic experience you should own today. Number 33 on this list is a betting game by the industry's new darling, John D. Clare, is Ready, Set, Bet. This game works best with an app that takes over the running of the races for you, but you can elect one of the more stupid members of your gaming group to roll some dice, yeah? But essentially what you'll be doing, the app will tell you which horses move, and you will be placing bets in real time on these horses, whether they come in 1st, 2nd or 3rd. There's also other bets you can make whether a certain horse is going to finish in a certain position, and the fact it's all done in real time means that you can end up feeling like a little bit of runny shit is coming out your bum. It's that tense. I love Ready, Set, Bet. The app even gives you some commentary that ramps up the tension even more, yeah? It's one of the best real-time games ever made. It's a fantastic idea, beautifully executed, and it just proves that John D. Clare is one of the designers you should be paying attention to in 2024. No doubt about it. 32 on this list is a game that was in our top 10 a few years ago, I think, or maybe it was last year. It's Concordia. This is a game by Matt Gertz, yeah? It's still being supported today. I looked the other day and there's a Roma Sicilia map just been released. Fucking hell. That's 10 years after this game was released. It's still being supported. And with good reason, because Concordia is a fantastic game. In this game, you'll be moving your workers and boats around the map. You'll be trying to take control of different cities that will give you resources that will allow you to get points through a novel card mechanic. There's a deck building element where you'll be adding cards to your hand, and each of these cards has a scoring mechanism on it. It's directly related to things that you've done during the game. So if you've got a certain card, it will give you points for the different types of resources that you've got coming in, or if you've got another card, it will give you points for the different types of cities that you control. Yeah, there's 1,000,000,001 maps for this. My personal favourite is the Britain map for obvious reasons, but if you think the map of your home territory trumps my one, come around my house, we'll sort it out over a vanilla chai tea. Alright. So number 31 on this list is a worker placement game, one of the best worker placement games ever made. It's Lords of Waterdeep. In Lords of Waterdeep, you're taking control of essentially a middleman, yeah? You're going to be working for one of the Lords of Waterdeep, and you'll be hiring different types of fantasy tropes, like magic users, thieves, fighters, and clerics, yeah? You'll be sending them out on adventures to gain rewards that will allow you to buy buildings and complete quests that will give you victory points, yeah? I don't know what it is about Lords of Waterdeep, yeah? The concept is so simple, but there's just something about the way the game looks and the way that it all comes together that makes this endlessly replayable. It works really well at all player counts, yeah? If you've got the expansion, the Skulls and Scoundrels expansion, you can play this with up to 6, and it adds even more stuff without adding any complexity. I love Lords of Waterdeep. Only a snob would tell you that this game is crap. So if you ain't got it, then you must be a fucking snob. Right, so you go, that is the conclusion of our next instalment of our top 100 games of all time. Come back in a few days' time for the next instalment. That is if you haven't thrown yourself off of a motorway bridge or deliberately dived off of the Hailing Island ferry. Remember to subscribe if you haven't already done so. Hit the like button, all that YouTube bullshit, yeah? We'll see you next time.